Hands up if this sounds familiar. You're absolutely wrecked. You've been dragging yourself through the day, fantasizing about your bed since approximately 2 p.m. You finally crawl in at a reasonable hour, close your eyes, and nothing. Crickets. Your brain has decided that right now at 11 p.m. is the ideal time to play every cringeworthy thing you've ever done since 1987. Or you fall asleep fine, and then boom, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., you're wide awake, staring at the ceiling like it owes you money. Or, and this one's particularly fun, you sleep the whole night, all 8 hours, and you wake up feeling like you were dragged behind a car. And when you mention any of this to anyone, you get some version of, yep, that's just what happens as you get older. Oh, great. Fantastic. That's very helpful. Thanks so much. And it's not helpful. It is not an answer, and it is not something you just have to accept. I'm Debbie, a holistic nutritionist, which means I look at the whole person, body, mind, and spirit, not just one piece of the puzzle, because nothing in your body operates in isolation, and sleep is a perfect example of that. I've been in practice for 15 years, and sleep going sideways in your 40s, 50s, whenever it decides to hit, because it doesn't punch in on a schedule, is one of the most common things I hear from clients, men and women, and it makes everything harder. Your energy, your mood, your weight, your ability to deal with literally anyone by 4 p.m., bad sleep is the thing that makes every other health problem worse. So today, we're going to talk about exactly what is actually going on and what you can try. These are not prescriptions. What works brilliantly for one person does absolutely nothing for another. And you're going to have to do some experimenting to figure out what your body responds to, but at least let's give you somewhere to start. And if your sleep is severely disrupted or something feels genuinely wrong, please talk to your doctor. That's always the right call for everyone else. That's always the right call. For everyone else, let's get into it. Your body doesn't just decide to sleep. It's a whole sequence of things happening. Your temperature dropping, your brain chemicals shifting, your stress response settling down. When the hormones involved in all of that start changing, the whole thing goes sideways. And this isn't just a women's issue. Men, you're in this too. And we'll get to that. For women, progesterone. This is your calm the hell down hormone. It's the one that helps your brain go quiet so you can actually fall asleep and stay there. In your 40s and beyond, it's often the first to drop, and not gradually. It can just fall off a fucking cliff. And when it does, you feel it immediately. Racing thoughts at bedtime, waking up at 3 a.m. with your brain fully online, lying there, unable to settle back down. Your body's natural off switch has gotten significantly weaker, and that's what you're fighting. Also, for us women, estrogen fluctuations. Fluctuating estrogen messes with your body temperature, which is why so many women in this stage of life are doing the duvet dance all night long. You get cozy, you get comfortable, you start to drift off, and then suddenly you're on fire, like someone has turned up the internal thermostat to the surface of the sun. So off go the covers, then you freeze, so back comes a duvet, 1 foot out, both feet out, fling the whole thing off, laying there freezing. Repeat this approximately 14 times between midnight and 6 a.m. It's not dramatic. It's genuinely what fluctuating estrogen does to your temperature regulation. And on top of the temperature chaos, lower estrogen also affects the quality of your deep sleep, which is why you can log a full 8 hours and still wake up feeling like a bag of shit. For the men, testosterone. Here's the thing that no one tells guys. Testosterone declines too. And it just does it slowly and quietly, starting in your 30s, picking up pace through your 40s and 50s, no dramatic crash like women, more of a slow leak. And low testosterone affects sleep. It's associated with waking more during the night, less deep restorative sleep, and that general feeling of being tired, but not actually able to sleep properly. A lot of men chalk it up to stress or just getting older and never connect it to what's happening hormonally, which is exactly the problem. It goes completely unaddressed. And this one is for everyone. Cortisol. It is your stress hormone, but it's also your wake-up hormone. It's supposed to be high in the morning to get you going and then taper off towards bedtime. In your 40s and beyond, for both men and women, that timing gets thrown off. Chronic stress, blood sugar swings, the hormonal shifts themselves, all of it can cause cortisol to spike in the middle of the night. That's your classic wide awake at 3 a.m. for no apparent reason moment. Your body has decided it's morning, and you have not agreed to this. Melatonin, it's your sleep hormone. Your body produces less of it as you age. It starts declining in your late 30s and it keeps going down. The signal your brain sends that says, okay, wind down, it's time, just gets quieter and quieter, which means it's easier, much easier to override. And screens are doing exactly that. But we'll get to that in a moment. The hormonal stuff is happening regardless, but most of us are also layering a bunch of other things on top of it that are absolutely torching whatever sleep quality we have left. And most of it is fixable. Screens. Just screens. Honestly, for the majority of people, this is probably the number one problem. We have built a lifestyle that is almost completely disconnected from natural light cycles. Think about your average day for someone working in an office. You commute in the dark or in a car. You sit under fluorescent lights all damn day in recycled air-conditioned air that smells like shit, makes you feel like shit. You stare at a screen for 8 hours, and then you get to come home and spend the rest of your evening staring at more screens. Your body never, not once, gets the signal that it's daytime, and therefore never gets a proper signal that it's nighttime either. The light from your phone or TV actively suppresses melatonin production. And in your 40s and beyond, when you're producing less melatonin anyway, you really can't afford to be torching what little you have left. This isn't phones are bad moralizing, it's just basic biology. Your body needs darkness to know it's time to sleep. Put the damn phone down. Not being outside enough. Related and equally important, natural daylight during the day, especially in the morning, actually helps set your wake rhythm. We are outdoor creatures who have somehow decided that a sealed box with artificial lighting is just fine. It's not fine. It is showing up in your sleep. Get outside, actual sunlight, fresh air. Even 20 minutes in the morning makes a measurable difference on how your body handles the evening. Blood sugar drops overnight. This one surprises people. If your blood sugar dips while you're sleeping, which happens when you haven't eaten enough or had too many refined carbs without enough protein or fat or had alcohol, your body releases cortisol to bring it back up. That cortisol wakes you up. That 3 a.m. wake up, that feels completely random. It's often a blood sugar thing. A decent dinner with some protein and healthy fat, not a huge production, just not skipping it or having wine and crackers and calling it a meal, helps a lot of people. Alcohol. A difficult truth, but here it is. Alcohol feels relaxing, and it actually does help you fall asleep. And then your cortisol rebounds hard around 2 or 3 a.m. It also suppresses your deep sleep quality. Sleeping fine after a couple of drinks and waking up feeling wrecked is not your imagination. The sleep you got was genuinely worse, even if the hours look the same. A bedroom that's too warm. Your body needs to drop its core temperature to access deep sleep. A warm room works against that. Women dealing with hormonal temperature swings, this matters even more. Cooler is better. Roughly around 18 degrees Celsius if you want a number. Yep, that sounds cold. Try it. Also, open your window. Let some fresh air in. It's great in the winter as well. Chronic stress. Keeping cortisol elevated in the evening when it's supposed to be dropping, This delays sleep, shallows it out, and increases wake-ups. Managing stress is not optional when sleep is already struggling. It's foundational. So what can you actually try? Again, not prescriptions, not one size fits all, not magic, experiments. Try something for a couple of weeks and see if it moves the needle for you. Magnesium. A lot of people find this one really helpful for sleep. It supports some of the same calming pathways in the brain that declining hormones used to take care of. Some food sources: leafy greens, pumpkin seeds, almonds, dark chocolate, black beans, avocado. If you want to try it as a supplement, magnesium glycinate or bisglycinate is a form that's well tolerated and tends to work well for sleep when taken roughly 20 minutes before bed. Some people notice a difference within a week, others get nothing from it, and that's just how it goes. Try it and see. Tart cherry juice, one of the few actual food sources of melatonin. A small amount in the evening, real tart cherry juice, not the sweetened cocktail stuff, has some decent research behind it for sleep. It's not going to knock you out. It's more of a gentle nudge when your body's own production has declined. Worth trying if you're curious. Tryptophan-rich protein at dinner. Tryptophan is what your body uses to make melatonin. So eating foods it containing in the evening basically is giving the production line its raw materials. Animal sources include turkey, chicken, eggs, and dairy, if you tolerate it. But there are great plant-based sources too. Pumpkin seeds are actually one of the best. Tofu, edamame, lentils, chickpeas, sunflower seeds. Good quality protein matters here, not just any protein, but whole food sources that your body can actually use. A handful of pumpkin seeds before bed is genuinely worth trying. Balance your blood sugar all day, not just at dinner. A 3 a.m. cortisol spike often traces back to lunch or the mid-afternoon sugar crash you didn't think mattered. Consistent meals with protein, healthy fats, and fiber throughout the day keeps everything steadier overnight. Ashwagandha, an adaptogenic herb, meaning it helps your body adapt to stress, that some people find genuinely helpful for cortisol and sleep quality. It has a reasonable body of research behind it. Some people feel a real difference, others notice nothing. The one thing I will say about ashwagandha is that it is something that you have to take for a minimum of 30 days to really get some notice from it. And sometimes you notice supplements working for you in the absence of taking them. And I just also want to say, for any of these things, if you're on any medications at all, check with your pharmacist or doctor before adding any of these. It's just good sense with any supplement. Exercise, but figure out your timing. Regular movement helps sleep, full stop. It reduces cortisol over time, supports hormonal balance, helps with stress, but when you do it matters enormously. And this is the one where everyone is different. So you need to pay attention to your own body. For me, personally, I'll work out in the morning and I'll have energy all day and then I'll sleep great. But if I work out in the evening, I am wired and there's no way in hell I'm falling asleep. However, if I go for a gentle walk for roughly 20 to 30 minutes after dinner, that doesn't seem to affect me and it actually does help me sleep, especially the days that I don't get my morning workout in. So another thing that works well is maybe a restorative yoga class in the evening, meditation, just something that's gentle, that's not really going to be too intense, too close to bedtime, because this raises your cortisol levels and your body temperature, both of which are working against sleep. So figure out what your window is. Try morning, try afternoon, see what your sleep looks like. Don't let anyone tell you that there's one right answer. Get outside during the day. We've already covered this, but it bears repeating because it's that important and that underestimated. Natural light in the morning, fresh air, actual outdoor time. Your body, it knows what to do with it, and your sleep will reflect it. Cool, dark, screen-free bedroom. So this one is so basic that most people dismiss it. don't. A cool room, genuine darkness, no phones for at least 45 minutes before bed, and keep the phone out of the bedroom. Everything else you try builds on this foundation. Skip it, and you're just fighting yourself. Consistent wake times, same time every day, including weekends. Getting up at the same time anchors your whole cortisol rhythm, which anchors everything else downstream. Sleeping in to catch up feels great, but it genuinely disrupts your pattern for days afterwards. It's boring, but it works. And a note on getting some help. If you've done the foundational stuff consistently and your sleep is still significantly disrupted, that is information that's worth acting on. A naturopath or functional medicine doctor can run tests that can give you actual data on what your hormones are doing. An RHN, like myself, can help you build a nutrition approach that fits your specific situation. It doesn't just have to be a guessing game forever. Exhausted is not part of midlife. It is a signal. Your sleep didn't randomly fall apart. Your hormones are shifting. Your calming hormones are lower. Your sleep hormone is declining. Your stress hormone is misfiring at 3 a.m. And most of us are living in a way that makes every bit of that worse. Stuck indoors all day, mainlining screens all night, wondering why we can't sleep. So, get outside, put the screens down before bed, eat something with protein at dinner, keep your bedroom cool and dark, move your body, but figure out when it works for you. Experiment with magnesium or tart cherry juice and see if they do anything for you. Keep your wake time consistent. Figure out what works for your body because that's the only body that matters here. The basics, done consistently, beat any sleep hack you're going to find on the internet at 3 a.m., which is where some of you are watching this right now. Go to bed. Subscribe for more No BS nutrition advice, and I'll see you in the next one.